GoForThe2.com in with the Week 11 predictions. Going to be an absolute rapid-fire video due to the work schedule in studio Monday and Thursday, covering Monday and Thursday night football for the NFL. You can see the home studio behind this, changing things up. So you want all the analysis and breakdowns. Tune into Carver and Lisi every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Also Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sirius Channel 159. Also, sportsgrid.com. You can always hit me up on Twitter at GoForThe2, the number 2. Going to be 8 selections. Again, rapid fire. Iowa State over BYU. Iowa State with a disappointing home loss, 3-point favorite over Kansas. Rocco Beck still played well, completed 21 of 28, over 220 yards in that ball game, had his team in a position to potentially steal that in the fourth quarter, could not convert, and Kansas walks away with the outright win in Ames. They now go on the road. BYU's undefeated. BYU at home, they're undefeated. BYU got abused by a very physical West Virginia defense. Keaton Slovis and that offense completely one-dimensional in that ball game, but Iowa State still has an outside shot potentially to make the Big 12 championship, need to win out 2 Big 12 games left on tap. They have the opportunity to potentially step up. This is one of them. I think they're more disciplined, better head coach Matt Campbell over Kalani Sitake. I think Rocco Beck is playing much better than Keaton Slovis. Give me Iowa State laying the 6.5 on the road in Provo. Think they win this ball game by double digits. Another big battle takes place in Columbia, Missouri. We have Tennessee and Missouri. Tennessee has won the last 2 meetings by an average margin of victory of 40 points per game. Won this ball game last year, 62-24. Missouri did get the cover against Georgia, started fast, held on to lose that ball game by 9 points, but still covered the double-digit spread against the Bulldogs. Brady Cook played well. Schrader and the rushing attack did get going in the first half, but then in the second half, Georgia made adjustments, set them up into long third down situations, and that's where Missouri struggled. But potentially bad matchup. Why? Because Tennessee likes to run the football. They couldn't stop the run against Georgia in the second half, couldn't stop the run in their one tough matchup earlier in the year to LSU where they pounded the rock for 274 on the ground. I think that's the difference. Even though Tennessee has Georgia on deck, laying a short number, I think Tennessee is live in this ball game. I think they win it anywhere from 7 to 13 points. Another SEC battle, you got Auburn coming off the 31-15 win over Vanderbilt, still pounding the rock very consistently, over 4.5 yards per carry. Arkansas gets the road win in overtime against Florida. First win in the history of the series in Gainesville. They stepped up. They're 3-6 overall, got their first SEC win. Now they come back home. They're going to have to win the next 3 ball games to become bowl eligible. But I favor Auburn here, catching 3 points on the road, the opportunity to become 6-4. I think that's the difference. Defense only allowing 31% of third down conversions, still under 4.5 yards per carry from a defensive perspective, right in the area of about 120 rushing yards allowed. That could be the difference. Arkansas stepped up last week. I think this is a bad matchup. Auburn on the road strikes the mild upset in Fayetteville this coming weekend. Another dog, Kentucky catching 10.5 against Alabama. Alabama stepped up. They dominated that ball game in the second half. Dallas Turner and the defense forced the critical turnover over Jaden Daniels. LSU could not stop Jalen Milroe on the ground. School record 4 touchdowns. But again, we still saw Alabama struggle with Jaden Daniels' mobility. Devin Leary, pocket passer, but I still think that Alabama is susceptible to the run. Very physical running back in Ray Davis. Big offensive line, big game in terms of Lexington. I think Kentucky covers this 10.5 point number Saturday, early kick against the Crimson Tide. Nebraska catching 3 against Maryland. They couldn't become bowl eligible on the road against Michigan State. Lost the ball game 20-17. We saw Maryland get abused by Penn State. They now go on the road, laying 2.5, 3. I know Talia is the better quarterback in this matchup, but I think Matt Rule is a much better coach. The opportunity to become bowl eligible in Lincoln, I think will have their home crowd fans involved. I believe in the front seven of Nebraska, holding opposing offenses to under 3.8 yards per carry. That's the difference. Nebraska's defense carries them to the mild upset win over the Terps this coming Saturday. Two big Pac-12 games. We have Utah catching 9.5 against Washington. The way USC was able to run the football, I think Utah can run the football, wear down potentially Washington after the critical road win over USC. Washington wins, but Utah covers the 9.5 point number. Caleb and USC now catching 15.5 in the area, 15 against Bo Nix and Oregon. Again, I know the defense didn't step up. Alex Grinch got fired. Potentially that could help out in terms of a new scheme, a different look, potentially confuse Bo Nix enough to at least keep USC within the number. I know there's no motivation here, but at the end of the day, this is still a dominant top 5 team that potentially USC can go toe-to-toe with from an offensive perspective. Catching 15 on the road, I like USC to potentially keep it within the number. And then Texas Tech catching the 3.5 against Kansas. Texas Tech got Brennan Morton back. They stepped up, won that ball game against TCU last Thursday night. I think they're live again on the road in Kansas. Kansas with 2 emotional back-to-back wins against Iowa State and Oklahoma. Texas Tech fighting to become bowl eligible, 4-5 overall. Brennan Morton's the difference along with Taj Brooks. Think they can run it. They can throw it. They strike the mild upset in Lawrence this coming weekend. Those are your 8 selections this coming weekend, week 11 for college football. Iowa State minus the 6.5, Tennessee minus the 1.5, Auburn plus the 3, Kentucky plus the 10.5, Nebraska plus the 3, Utah plus the 9.5, USC plus the 15, Texas Tech plus the 3.5. Your selections for this weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you on Saturday.